I still remember the night everything shifted. The night that pulled the ground from under my feet without warning. It was quiet, strangely peaceful, the kind of evening where the world feels steady and slow. I was in my kitchen, stirring a pot of tea, thinking about nothing important. Then my phone buzzed. At first, I thought it was Armand sending one of his usual late-night messages. But the message wasn't from him. It came from an unknown number, and the words inside sliced through my calm like a sharp blade. You deserve to know the truth. Check his location. My hands froze, my heart thumped wildly. I tried convincing myself it was a prank, but a sinking feeling whispered otherwise. I clicked the link. His location opened. Not his home, not his office, a hotel. My breath caught in my throat. I grabbed my keys and drove, my thoughts spinning, heart hammering. Reaching the hotel felt unreal, the kind of moment you only see in movies. His car was parked shamelessly in the lot, as if the night belonged to him more than to me. I went inside, took the elevator, and when the doors opened on the third floor, my world cracked open. Armin walked out of a room, shirt, messy hair tousled, followed by a woman fixing her dress, laughing softly. He looked free, careless, comfortable, until he saw me. His smile collapsed. His eyes widened. "Ria, what are you doing here?" he whispered. I didn't speak. I didn't need to. In that moment, I felt a quiet storm rise inside me. I wasn't broken. I was awake, and I knew one thing. This betrayal wouldn't go unanswered. Before that night, I thought life with Armin was perfect, or at least as perfect as it could get. People often told me I was lucky, and I believed them. We had shared dreams, late-night talks, small routines that made me feel safe, special, loved. He remembered the tiniest details, the way I liked my coffee, how I preferred quiet mornings. He knew how to make someone feel seen, cherished, irreplaceable. Looking back now, I can see how it all was carefully built, a facade to hide the truth. After the hotel, when he tried to explain, to justify, to manipulate, I realized that every "I love you" is rehearsed, every tender gesture a mask, hiding selfishness. He stumbled over excuses, claiming misunderstanding, claiming she was a friend, a colleague, someone he was helping, but nothing made sense. His eyes showed panic, fear, and the tiniest crack of guilt, but no real remorse. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just let him flounder in the weight of his own lies. That silence, that calm, became my first step toward taking back control. I drove home that night thinking about what had been built and what had been destroyed, about trust shattered beyond repair. Something inside me shifted. I realized that I could either allow his betrayal to define me, or rise above it, and I made a choice. I wouldn't be the girl who forgives blindly anymore. I would be the woman who reclaims her power. He may have thought he could continue without consequences, but he had no idea what I was capable of. The night had awakened a determination that would consume me until the scales were even. For the next week, I acted normal, calm, even sweet. I didn't confront him, didn't accuse, didn't let him see the storm brewing inside me. I watched him, listened to his excuses, observed his growing recklessness. He continued texting the woman from the hotel, hiding messages, locking his phone as if that alone could erase the truth. But pretending everything was fine gave me power. I could hear everything, see everything. I installed a small device in our apartment, something that recorded whenever there was sound. Harmless in appearance but deadly in revelation. Listening to his conversations made my blood boil. He wasn't cheating with just one woman. He was juggling three women, all convinced they were special, all deceived by the same charming liar. And he was using my money, my time, my trust, to maintain this twisted circus. Every receipt, every hotel booking, every message painted a picture of manipulation so calculated it shocked me. My anger transformed into strategy. I didn't need to scream or confront him yet. I needed proof, undeniable evidence, a web of lies so complete that he couldn't escape it. And while he continued thinking he had control, I quietly built the tools that would dismantle him. Betrayal had taught me the first rule of revenge. Observe, wait, prepare. Every lie he told, every secret he carried, every careless action became a weapon. He was blind to my patience, unaware that the woman he thought powerless was the one who would eventually strip him of everything he valued. And when the moment came, he wouldn't just lose me, he would lose himself. By the time I acted, my plan was already set in motion. A precise sequence designed to expose every lie, every betrayal, every shred of manipulation. I knew Armand valued reputation above everything else, so I aimed at the one thing he couldn't repair, his image. I quietly removed him from every financial benefit, blocked access to accounts, cut ties with shared resources, and let the consequences accumulate naturally. I didn't announce my actions. I let him flounder in the void of control he had assumed he held. Then I gathered evidence, meticulously documenting messages, calls, hotel stays, money transfers, and conversations with all three women. Each piece was a thread in a web that he could not untangle. Finally, I contacted the women. Not to attack, not to manipulate, but to align us as witnesses to the same betrayal. They were shocked at first, hurt, confused, but quickly realized we were all victims of the same man. The collective realization gave power and clarity. For the first time, Armin would face not just my judgment but the weight of his actions exposed to those he had deceived. My strategy was calm, calculated, and devastatingly effective. It wasn't about drama or public shaming. It was about showing him that deception has limits and that consequences are inevitable. We would confront him not with anger, but with undeniable truth. This plan wasn't born of vengeance alone. It was born of self-respect, of taking power from someone who thought they owned it, and of demonstrating that lies can never survive where truth and unity stand unshaken. By the night of revelation, he would realize that the life he had manipulated and controlled for years was no longer his to touch. The night of the confrontation was quiet, almost serene, a sharp contrast to the storm about to unfold. I invited Armin to a dinner, telling him it was to discuss our future, knowing he would arrive with confidence and charm. He appeared, dressed neatly, carrying roses, a smile plastered on his face, as if nothing had changed. He had no idea what awaited him. As he entered the private room, his expression froze, recognition dawning too late. Seated calmly at the table were the three women, not with anger, but with a united presence of truth. His smile disappeared, replaced by panic, disbelief, and desperation. "Sit," I commanded softly, and he obeyed, trembling. I pressed play on a small speaker. The room filled with his voice, conversations with each of the women, hotel confirmations, messages, and lies, every deceit laid bare for the first time. He tried to interrupt, tried to explain, but my raised hand silenced him. Every lie, every betrayal, every manipulation he had carefully concealed was exposed in the cold clarity of truth. His eyes darted from one woman to another, realizing the magnitude of his actions and the certainty of his defeat. The women placed evidence before him, pieces he could not deny, could not twist, could not escape. The man who had thought himself untouchable was powerless. Sitting quietly, reputation shattered, ego dismantled, and pride in ruins. No shouting, no drama, just undeniable proof of his actions and their consequences. That night, I realized that the most effective revenge isn't fueled by anger, it's executed with precision, patience, and clarity. He left without protest, his charm and lies worthless, leaving me and the women united, strong, and unbroken. After the reveal, a calm settled over my life that I hadn't known for years. The apartment felt lighter, the air clearer, as if the walls themselves had absorbed the tension and released it once he was gone. My phone no longer buzzed with manipulation, my mind was free from constant doubt, and my heart no longer carried the weight of betrayal. I removed every trace of him from my life, blocked numbers, deleted messages, cleared memories, and reclaimed spaces that he had made his own. The other women and I stayed in contact, not as a pact of revenge but as a network of strength, understanding, and shared lessons. Our conversations weren't centered on pain but on growth, on reclaiming power, on supporting each other as independent, unbroken women. I returned to my routines with renewed clarity, focusing on my work, my ambitions, and my own happiness. The scars of betrayal remained, but they became marks of resilience rather than reminders of loss. I realized that revenge had not been about punishing him, it had been about reclaiming myself. Every step I took forward was a declaration that I would no longer be manipulated, deceived, or diminished. And while Armand faded from my life, my confidence, my strength, and my sense of self grew in ways I hadn't thought possible. It was a lesson in power, patience, and the importance of never allowing someone else's lies to define your reality. I had survived betrayal, exposed deception, and emerged stronger, knowing that true victory comes not from hurting someone else, but from reclaiming your own life with courage and dignity. Betrayal feels like the end of the world, as though trust has shattered beyond repair, and love is a dangerous gamble. But I learned that silence and submission are choices, not inevitabilities. The strongest revenge is not fueled by rage or terror, it is born from clarity, strategy, and self-respect. I didn't destroy him. He destroyed himself through lies, manipulation, and selfishness. My role was to hold up the mirror and ensure he could see the reflection he had hidden from the world. The experience taught me that power lies in observation, patience, and action executed with precision. Standing in my own truth, refusing to be victimized, and reclaiming my life was far more powerful than any outburst or retaliation. To anyone facing betrayal, do not waste energy begging for apologies or seeking validation. Step back, gather clarity, and let consequences follow naturally. True strength is in reclaiming your voice, your life, and your dignity. I emerged from the ordeal, not broken, not vengeful, but empowered. Life regained its color, my heart regained its rhythm, and my spirit found peace. Betrayal does not define you unless you let it. The greatest revenge is not pain inflicted, but life reclaimed, boundaries enforced, and lessons learned. The night of truth may feel devastating, but from its ashes rises resilience, wisdom, and a power that no liar, no cheat, and no betrayer can ever touch. I walked away stronger, my voice louder than his lies, my life richer than the deception I endured, and my confidence unshakable because I knew my worth.